Welcome back to How This Mom Does It, and today I'm going to be sharing with you what we are going to be using with Story of the World, Volume 1, Ancient Times. If you're interested in seeing what resources we're going to be using, stay tuned. So for Story of the World, we have the main book that you read, and that's basically the story. And then we also have it on CD, which I highly recommend. It's nice to be able to listen to it in the car. My daughter prefers it that way, and it saves time so we can road school. We like road schooling when we can because we do a lot of commuting different places. So we will listen to the history book rather than read it from the actual book. But sometimes we read it as well, so it's kind of nice to have both. I like to have both. And then we also have the activity book, and it has narration questions. It tells you what pages to read in the encyclopedias. It gives you activities and projects to do, and it gives you book recommendations for read alouds and books that the kids can read, and just lots of great information and recommendations. So we will be using that this year as well. And then the main book that there's a couple different things you can choose as your encyclopedia, and I chose the Usborne Encyclopedia of World History. So that is the book we're going to be using with the Story of the World as the main supplement. In addition to Story of the World, I picked up A Child's History of the World, and I have this as a physical book as well as an audio book. And I do like to listen to that as well. We've listened a few chapters in already, and I do like it. It is different than Story of the World, but I think it's kind of good to have differing ways of explaining some things, and I do like that. So I did pick up that book. We're going to give that a try as well. And then I have several of the Eyewitnesses book, and all of these I bought used for like $1 or $2. So I have Early Humans. I have this Usborne Introduction to Archaeology. This was also a used book. The Kingfisher Book of Ancient World. That was also used. The Usborne Internet-Linked Ancient World Encyclopedia. I have the History Pockets Ancient Civilizations, and this has lots of activities that you can do that go along with ancient civilizations. This I actually did purchase new like 2 years ago, and now I don't know that I would, but we might use some things out of it, so I'm sure I'll get my money's worth on that. And then I got this Peoples of the World Usborne book, and this I also got used. I have the Usborne Time Traveler book, and it's kind of a fun book, and it takes you through if you were going back in time. So it's kind of a fun way of looking at it. And this was a book that I was given. And then this is a book called Houses, and it shows the way different people live in like different houses throughout the world. And I just thought that was kind of a neat little book, and I got that for like 50 cents, I think, or something like that. And then I have the Usborne Illustrated Stories from Around the World, and this has different stories from different places around the world. And I thought that would be kind of a fun one to add some stories from different areas of the world this year, since we're kind of going all over the place in terms of countries that we're going to be studying. So we're going to add that in. For Ancient Egypt, I have quite a nice stack of books. There seems to be a lot of books for Ancient Egypt as opposed to some of the other cultures that you study. But this one is an Eyewitness Books, Ancient Egypt. And pretty much almost all these I'm going to be showing you I got used, unless I say otherwise. Pretty much I've just found them as I've been looking for books. This is Ancient Egypt, and it has transparencies and reproductibles. And I picked this up because I really liked some of the maps and pictures that it had. And even though they are transparencies, I thought that I could use it in some way. And I think I got it for like $1, so it wasn't a big investment. And then I got the Usborne Internet Linked Encyclopedia of Ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt, and it's a scholastic. Background information, activities, projects, literature links, and a poster. And I picked this one up because it had an actual poster with it. And I thought that would be neat to put up. And it had like a little map. So that was pretty cool. And then I got Cat Mummies. And this is a recommended book. But I also got it because it's cats. And my daughter really likes cats. So I thought cats and mummies, it would be a good combo. So she'll be reading that. Life Along the River Nile. The Usborne Internet Linked Mummies and Pyramids. Ancient Egyptians and Their Neighbors, an activity guide. And it has these other cultures that they study too. And I was having trouble finding books on these, so I actually bought this full price off of Rainbow Resources because I needed something for that time period, and I thought this would work really well, so I picked that up. I have this Look Inside Mummies and Pyramids Usborne book, and it is a board book with the flaps. And this book we were gifted, but I thought it would be great for my son who's going to be doing some history with us. The flaps are pretty cool. My daughter really likes this book too. She's already been reading it already. So we'll have that. I have Fun with Egyptian Stencils for some fun. The Mummies in the Morning, the Magic Treehouse book, number 3. And we've already been listening to this actually. We have this as a physical book, and I also have it as an audio book. And then I have a National Geographic magazine that has King Tut Mystery in it. And this is an old National Geographic magazine that I just saved. But I try and bring in different types of books and magazines and try and give my kids a variety. So I thought I pulled that aside to have as well. And then my daughter was so excited about this book because it has jewels on the front and it's pretty. So, but I actually got this used, and I think I only spent $2 on it. And it's an Egyptology book. And it's got lots of flaps. It's supposed to be like I believe like a diary. I haven't read it. But it's got some really nice pictures in it, and my daughter just was so excited when she saw it. So that is what we're going to be using for ancient. So for ancient Rome, I have several books. I have the Read Aloud Detectives in Togas. I have an eyewitness book, Ancient Rome. I have, this is another one of those transparency books where it's got the cool pictures and stuff and some activities. And there's a book 1 and book 2. I got these used for about $1. They are grades 7 through 12, so I wasn't really planning on using the activities, but I really liked the transparencies and the maps and things, and I thought I could use that in some way. So I did pick up both of those because I got them so cheap. And I have Life During the Great Civilizations, Ancient Rome. The Usborne Internet Linked Encyclopedia of the Roman World. And this I bought new. I did get this from Rainbow Resources. It's the Roman News. And it's one of the recommended books, and I thought it was pretty cool how they did it as like a newspaper. So I went ahead and picked that up for when we do Ancient Rome. So for Ancient Greece, I have several read-alouds. I have Black Ships Before Troy. I have Hour of the Olympics. It's a Magic Treehouse number 16. I have The Children's Homer, and this book I also have as an audiobook. And I've listened to it already, and we'll be probably listening to this one this year as well. I have the Usborne Illustrated Stories from the Greek Myths, and this one has some really beautiful pictures in it. So I know both of my kiddos will like this one, and this book we were gifted, so that was great. And I have the DK Ancient Greece Encyclopedia. I have the Greek News, and this is just like the Roman News. I did purchase this new from Rainbow Resources. I have the Usborne Illustrated Guide to Myths and Greek Myths and Legends. Picture from the Past, Life in a Greek Trading Post. And this is a Greece book, and this one has the transparencies like the other books did, and I got that for like $1 used. And this is a children's book of myths and enchanting tales. This is another one of the like Greek myths, and it has some nice illustrations in it. This book I also got used. And this book I did buy from Rainbow Resources. It's The Gods and Goddesses of Olympus. And it's got some great illustrations in it too. So that is what I'm going to be using for ancient Greece. So for ancient China, I didn't find a lot. I probably could have done a little more research and found more on Rainbow Resources, but I really didn't want to spend a lot more. So I had found this ancient China DK book, and I picked that up used. And then I also got this Magic Treehouse number 14, Day of the Dragon King. And then we'll just be reading from the Encyclopedia or any other books I find throughout the year. And then I also got these coloring books, and I got these used for ancient Mexico. So these are all of the resources I plan to use this year, along with the Story of the World, Volume 1, Ancient Times. We're using the activity book, we have the reading book, and we also have it on CD. And then I have all of these books to use as resources and extra reading, read-alouds, and activities, and all types of fun things that we're going to be doing this year. If you like this video, click like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.